are listening to the most original talk radio station anywhere. We are LA Talk Radio at latalkradio.com.
You're listening to Oscar's Guitar Shop with Oscar Jordan, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Salutations! Welcome to another episode of Oscar's Guitar Shop. I'm Vintage Guitar Magazine contributing writer Oscar Jordan, and I am burdened with glorious purpose. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hey, welcome to the Sausage Fest, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being you. Wow. Happy belated birthday to Jimmy Page. Hey. Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin, when you steal from the breast, right? Right? I'm just saying, man. Dude is bad, but come on now. Leave Willie Dixon alone. By the way, my band, Oscar Jordan and the Mighty Sons of Hercules, is performing at a benefit at Malarkey's in Long Beach this Sunday at 4 p.m. to help former guest Greg Wright, bluesman Greg Wright, to get to Memphis to compete in the International Blues Challenge. Come on down, give support, be a helper. And if you say hello to me, I will make eye contact with you and say something amusing, I promise. I will. I really will. Because I care. Hey, have you seen the cool Oscar's Guitar Shop t-shirts? Huh? I'm serious. I'm asking you. Have you seen them? Support Oscar's Guitar Shop and get one. I will send you an Oscar's Guitar Shop t-shirt if you send me money. Go to Oscar's Guitar Shop and click donations to the show. You're helping the show. You're donating. You're helping the show. And then I'll send you an Oscar's Guitar Shop t-shirt. Share the magic inside your wallet. Oscar's Guitar Shop is powered by True Tone Music. Visit them at truetonemusic.com, making your music come to life. Also, Performance Guitars, building custom guitars and basses for the biggest names in the music industry since 1976. Visit them at performanceguitars.com. And last but not least, Mojave Ampworks. Visit the oasis of tone. It's literally an oasis of tone at mojaveampworks.com. Want to become a sponsor? Want to sell shit on my show? Well, you can. Email me at oscarsguitarshop@gmail.com. And now, it's time.
If I could stroll across the sand of time, I call my cronies up and drink some wine. But just the other day I heard you die. Disappeared, you was in your prime. And I'm fighting hard, stomping around on my grandma's land. I hear my little son in my hand. I know he knows that I understand. He tried harder to be a man, yeah. And he's fighting hard. I told him folks don't have a clue where you from or where you going to. And sometimes, baby, it gets so hard to deal with folks that believe wrestling is real. wine.
Alvin Youngblood Hart refuses to be branded, labeled, categorized, rubber stamped, or collated. He will not be put into a convenient little slot for super organized anal retentiveness. No! Hart surfs the wild musical landscape of great American music and is equally at home with gut bucket acoustic blues, electric blues rock, hard rock, and is not above the occasional ska motif. He runs the gamut of a number of influences that include Howlin' Wolf, Link Ray, Skip James, Thin Lizzy, Sly and the Family Stone, and of course Led Zeppelin. Happy birthday, Jimmy Page. Hart received 5 W.C. Handy Blues Award nominations and won Best New Artist. He also received 2 Living Blues Awards and received the Downbeat Magazine's Critics Poll Award for Best Blues Album for his album Territory. Hart is a multifaceted songwriter, a badass on guitar, and has his own special mojo wizardry when it comes to tearing a gear apart. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Alvin Youngblood Hart.
Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Hey now.
How you doing, man? Is that you? Are you there, sir?
Oh, I lost it.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty well. Hanging in.
Yeah, I just want you to know, I know you're freezing your ass off, but I showed up to the studio in a t-shirt, man.
Oh, that sounds good. You know, hey, well, it is winter time, you know, so.
I'm wearing a cool t-shirt, so there you go.
This part of the country.
I'm originally from Chicago, and I feel very guilty about walking around in a t-shirt in this weather.
Yeah, well, you know, you take it when you can get it. So.
I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for this weather. So, man, how you been doing? It's been goddamn. The last time I spoke to you, I think, was 2006. I interviewed you for Vintage Guitar Magazine. What have you been doing since then?
Pretty much just touring the globe. What was it? Wild World of Sports, spanning the globe. You know, and, trying to play some guitar here and there, and you know, like say tearing them up, and tearing them down to build them back up, and all that kind of thing. You know, and just you know, what's good times, just scratching and surviving.
Yeah, I know how it is, man. Yeah, I hadn't. The last album I got from you was Motivational Speaker, which I love. I love the hell out of that record, man. That was like, damn, you know?
Yes, about you and 3 other people.
No, it's not true, because I did my research, because I'm intrepid, you know? And that album got great reviews, man. People digging it everywhere.
Yeah, it did. It got great reviews. You know, I was pretty happy with the record. I mean, unfortunately, you know, it's just one of those things where you get involved with the label and the label people and the label, the parent. You know, you have the parent label and you know, the under labels and all that kind of thing, and the parent label just kind of went bankrupt, and so went the project, you know. So by the time the record actually came out, there was no real label support behind it. So I just kind of you know, spent all my resources just touring it around for the next couple of years or so until I finally ran out of them. Now I believe it's actually out of print now, and I had some issues in the house with weather and pipes and all that kind of thing. So during this cleanup, man, I just ran across a secret stash of motivational speakers. About 8 to 10 of them.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Well, what do you say? I always direct people to websites. they should go and buy that from you for like massive amounts of money.
You can still purchase it as a download, actually. So you know, I mean, for what that's worth, you know, I'm not really much of a downloader myself. You know, I'm old school. So.
Right.
But yeah, man. So you know, I'm just been trying to write some songs and think about, you know, the next project, which hopefully will get into action this year. We got a new year, so got 11 months to do it.
I got to this was I think it was earlier this year. I interviewed Luther Dickinson, and I heard the project that you played on with him, which is pretty cool.
Which one? The South Memphis String Band?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I mean, that you guys. I mean, you're from the South, so you guys just bring the gut bucket, that Southern thing, and you guys really know how to revive that sound, man. You guys just give this whole authentic thing to it, and you guys are like way too young to be singing like that, but you do it really, really well, man.
Well, I mean, you know, like that was the thing that always intrigued me. That you know, people say he sounds too young, whatever. It wasn't like you know, the guys making records back in the old days were old when they were making the records. You know,
right?
They were just old when everybody found out that they made the records. You know, but, you know, like I had a friend in St. Louis, Henry Townsend, who he passed away back in '06, but you know, he made his first record in 1929, and he was just like 19 years old or something like that, you know. So, I guess, you know, I mean, that's all relative, you know.
Right. Well, you guys are definitely doing some channeling though, where you just really got that flavor, and more importantly, I hear the love. I mean, you really love that music, and we were talking via email the other day about how you know, we get into this categorization of, you know, people want you to do a certain thing. They think that's the most marketable thing for you to do, which is to sit in a chair, get in front of a microphone, and sing acoustic guitar and sing old blues songs in the style of, you know, Robert Johnson, Skip James.
Old Man Ripper. Yeah. You know.
But I mean, isn't that kind of like a trap sometimes? You know what I mean? How do you handle that?
Yeah, for sure.
Because you do it well. You do it so well, but I know that's not all you are.
You know, yeah. It's a real trap for me, anyway. I mean, you know, because you know, sometimes I have a desire to play other things, you know. So, and most of the time, you know, I made my first record there in '95. You know, and it was at like the tail end of the height of Unplugged. So I mean, what I was doing basically was my version of Unplugged, you know, and I mean, as far as that, you know, that was that, you know, that was Unplugged. I don't think Unplugged is really as big as it was. Man, has it been 20 years? I guess so. Yeah, 20 years ago.
Now it's double plugged. Everything is very plugged.
But
now. They don't.
Yeah, so you know, I mean, but yeah, I mean, I did that, and then all of a sudden, it seemed, you know, as far as the people out there running the show, that this is going to be your musical identity, and don't stray from it, you know, kind of thing. So.
Now, were you primarily like an electric guy before that? Is this just something that happened to you? Someone happened to have heard you, just happened to pick up an acoustic and do this thing, and they said, you should do that, even though before you were doing it. Was that like a lucky...
Yeah. As we said, as you were wishing a one-day belated birthday to Jimmy Page, you know, Jimmy Page is probably one of my biggest musical influences. Mm-hmm. And when I was a teenager, you know, just getting into things, I mean, you know, we all knew Zeppelin for, you know, the bombastic bombast that they were, but yet, you know, Jimmy Page had these really subtle, cool acoustic moments as well. And I mean, it was that where like, well, damn, you gotta learn to do both, really. And that's what kind of got me into it. And as far as all bluesy thing, everything, my family comes from Mississippi, so it was just kind of whatever there. It was our native folk music. So my older brother was kind of turning me on all that stuff. Let's see, I guess around age 13, 14 when I first heard of Charlie Patton and Robert Johnson and all that kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's always been a thing where I just more or less played acoustic and electric guitar. And there was actually a point in about gonna say around 1983, maybe it was, that I just really couldn't find people that I liked playing with in a band context, like in a rock band context or whatever. At that time, most everything was what I remember about it. It was either kind of shred this or shred that, or it was the sort of shark skin suit pompadour, fat hollow body blues guitar thing.
Pompadours and bowling shirts, right?
And I wasn't in either one of those much. So it was kind of that point where I said, okay, well, I'll just play by myself, and I started playing acoustic guitar by myself because I could kind of make more sound finger picking, and that's kind of where that started. So by the time I guess I was still in the Coast Guard. I was in the U.S. Coast Guard for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see, I was last place I was stationed in the Bay Area, and just started going to like folk music open mic nights and things like that, and that's how solo gigs started popping up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if I can just play devil's advocate, because, life is strange, and it just takes us on some strange damn journeys, and sometimes it's hard to navigate, but I mean, I know you're a great electric player with like rock chops and all kind of great ideas, but I think if maybe somebody had not heard you sitting in a chair with an acoustic doing that, we probably would not be talking right now. I mean, it's just one of those things, and we know you can do more than that, but, it's just amazing because now you're kind of, people want to put you there and keep you there. They want to keep you in the chair, you know what I mean?
Yeah, in the chair. Yeah, well, there was that, like I say, it was just kind of a build, too. I mean, for me, at the time, I was just kind of happy playing music. And like I say, Unplugged was really going on, and
mm-hmm.
and it was real popular. And so I was just kind of going along, and things just kept popping up that way. I mean, when I got to the Bay Area, like I say, I was playing gigs around there when I was still in the Coast Guard. I met Joe Louis Walker, and he's pretty much a library of all styles of blues guitar and everything. So, he can go from doing Otis Rush to Memphis Minnie,
mm-hmm.
on a dime. And we both kind of saw that in each other, and he was kind of instrumental in getting me a lot of first kind of high profile gigs out there. Things, getting started. Like somehow, I ended up any records out or any kind of thing like that. So, and you know, just kind of one thing after another, and like, yeah, get that guy, you know. So,
the rise to fame.
Yeah, and then of course, like let's say, you know, but when it comes time, you know, it comes time to make records, and you got to be a songwriter and all this stuff. You know, you got to throw out everything that you got. You know, just I think, you know, anyway, when as music hits you, you know, you don't say, oh well, that's not blues enough, or that's not acoustic enough, or whatever. You know, you just let it loose. You know.
True that. All right, I'm going to play a song that you performed. The song is called "How Long Before I Change My Clothes?" This is a question. I'm going to play the song. It's from the album Down in the Alley. And then I'm going to do a commercial. And then we're going to come right back. So just hang tight. I'm looking forward. This is a great song, people. You're going to dig this.
All righty.
Get nobody to go on my bed singing how long before I can change my clothes. Singing how long before I can change my clothes. I remember when I was freezing cold, you stand and look at me in my convict coat, singing how long before I can change my clothes. Singing how long before I can change my clothes. But the more convict wine, singing how long before I can change my clothes. Singing how long before I can change my clothes.
I wish I could do that, but I cannot. So we must leave it to the expert. Performance Guitars has been making hand-built custom guitars and basses since 1976. Their clients have included some of the biggest names of the music industry, including Frank and Dweezil Zappa, Billy Sheehan, who else? Steve Vai, Tom Morello, tons of people. Joe Walsh, Warren DeMartini. Their attention to detail, craftsmanship, great customer service, and on-site construction has made them a top choice for musicians the world over. Their guitar amp and effects repair is second to none. I said second to none. Their Corsair guitar series and YB bass series was created for the working professional who needs an instrument that can perform in a variety of musical situations. Their Frank Zappa-inspired effects pedals specialize in real, analog, and true bypass sounds. Performance guitars and basses will provide a seamless connection between you and the creation of great music. Visit them at Performance Guitars at performanceguitars.com or call 323-883-0781. That's 323-883-0781. Tell them Oscar sent you. Tell Cooney I said, hey. And he'll take care of you. And then when he's done with your guitar, he'll say, your guitar, ready? And then he'll give it to you. And then you'll be happy. Man, that was some cool playing, man. You there?
Hello.
You still there?
Yes, sir.
I really enjoyed that song, man.
All right. That's old Book of Light song that I kind of adapted.
Mm-hmm.
When, like, it's one of those situations where, you kind of real life creeps into your art or whatever you want to call it. Back when I was hanging out in the 80s, I was actually stationed at a place called Natchez, Mississippi, and my family comes from a place about 4 hours north of there. So on the weekends, I'd go up there and stay with my aunt, who was kind of like my grandma at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And my cousin was a cattle rancher, So in the wintertime, when you have to feed the cattle because they can't graze, you got to call them over to where the hay is. And the way we used to do that was to go, woo! So one day the light bulb went on, and I said, well, I ought to incorporate that into my singing career as it was, So
that's called inspiration.
That's how I ended up appropriating that,
I'm going to go off on a tangent because I'm curious, and I have to ask you this before I forget because I'm really interested. I was on your website. It's by the way, just to get this out of the way because it's very important. People can visit you at where's it at? Oh, it's mojomusic.com/Alvin. Mojo, M-O-J-O, music.com/Alvin. Now, there's a story on there on your bio that you met the late Gary Moore and you got to play and tour with him a little bit. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I believe that all kind of came through Otis Taylor, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Otis had gone over to the UK, and he had some dates opening for Gary Moore or something, and they got to talking, and Otis knew that that I was a huge Lizzy fan.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he kind of mentioned that to Gary, and I guess Gary had known who I was. So, I guess about a year later, we went over there to do Otis's banjo project. Otis and Corey Harris, Don Vappy, Cassie Taylor, and myself. And Gary came to check us out one night, and met him there, and we hung out and took pictures, and he told me some Lizzy stories, and so we kind of hit it off. And then let's see, I think it was in summer of '08. I was in in England during a festival, and with my band over there, and Gary Moore was headlining that festival, I believe. So he came and checked out our set, you know, and we hung out and talked for a bit more, and he invited me up to sit in on his set that night. So it wasn't too long after that we got a call saying that he wanted my band to open for him on a tour in Germany in the early spring of '09, I think it was, somewhere there. So we did that, you know, and had a great time. I was pretty much he'd call me in his dressing room every night, and, you know, have a different Phil or Lizzy story to tell me, and, you know.
Man,
and, it was great, man. You know, had a really great time with him.
Wow.
I got to meet him. I got to at the festival in England. Actually, I got to play on stage with him, and Brian Downey was playing drums in Gary's band at that time. So that was really cool. And I gave Brian Downey a copy of Motivational Speaker, which he really loved. So.
Wow.
My work is done on this earth.
I know. I saw him. I only saw him once. I saw him back in the '80s in Chicago on his Corridors of Power tour, which blew me away. He was so good that I did not deserve to watch him. That's how good he was. He just did the whole Encyclopedia Britannica of great Jeff Beck, Hendrix, all these stuff that the Lizzy, just all the great sounds that he does is just, I just will never forget that show. What is there anything that comes to your mind when you're standing on stage with him, looking at his hands do his thing? Any like epiphanies watching him at all?
No, you know, man, I'm just kind of too wrapped up in the fact that you know, I'm playing with a guy who was in Thin Lizzy, you know, whatever, you know, and the fact that, like, you know, every night on that tour where we were opening for him, every night, you know, he'd come out there and check out our set. You know, he'd have his entourage, you know, and he's like, "Come on, we got to go check out Alvin." So
wow,
you know, man, yeah, that was really cool, man. You know.
Oh, man, I love Gary Moore. Yeah, one of my favorite live shows is, I actually own a crappy copy of it, but it's Thin Lizzy live in Australia. Have you ever seen that video?
Oh. Yeah, I have that one, yeah.
Oh, my God. He is like he has the biggest balls in the world, and he's like not going to let anybody forget it, and he plays like a monster. I love that. That whole show is just, Phil is on, the whole band is on, and Gary is like, I think he's got like a Les Paul Jr. or something on stage. And
a melody maker.
Melody maker, that's it. About
that.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
He had a melody maker with a humbucker in it.
Oh, man. He was just like, And you know what I like about him? He knows how to stand on stage because he spreads his legs really wide and he plays. It's like...
Yeah, he told me he lost that guitar when he left the band, actually, because he left. They were on this kind of traveling festival tour.
Uh-huh.
I think it was back in '79, and I saw them then. And he left kind of abruptly and left that guitar behind on him. Lost it. He said he regretted it. You know, he regretted the way he left and losing that guitar. We're talking about melody makers and stuff. So I tend to play one every now and then. You know.
Oh, do you have one yourself?
Yeah, I have a couple.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Well, I want to play another song from yours. This is from live at the BBC. The song is called "Where the Fun Is," and then I'm gonna play the track, do a little commercial, and then we'll come back. And I want to talk about gear because, man, you do your own stuff. You know how to tear stuff apart. You know how to put it back together again, and it just sounds awesome. And I want to get to the nitty gritty.
All right, then.
should be mentioned. Today's another day. I ain't got time to play. If I got your attention, it took me by surprise. I didn't see it coming. I saw it in your eyes, but baby, I ain't running. Forget that outside time, and we just might survive. Go to where the fun is. It took you by surprise. You didn't see it coming. I saw it in your eyes, but baby, I ain't running. Today's another day, so let's get underway. I ain't got time to play. Let's make our getaway. Go to where the fun is. Let's go to where the fun is. Let's go to where the fun is. Say, baby, where the fun is.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
You know what's good for you, you'll dig it. Damn, Skippy. That was really cool. That was, oh, I love that. Nice lick in there. True Tone Music is a virtual candy store for guitarists and bass players. They're world famous for having the best selection of new and used and vintage guitars in the Los Angeles area. Located at 714 Santa Monica Boulevard in the city of Santa Monica, True Tone Music offers the widest selection of exceptionally high-quality guitars and basses. They stock name brands like Fender, Gibson, Epiphone, Gretsch, and much, much more. Check out their wide selection of Martin acoustic guitars. Martin is the leading manufacturer of steel string flat top acoustics and synonymous with handcrafted excellence. True Tone Music is where the top names in the music industry shop for guitars, basses, amps, boutique pedals. They'll also match any online price, and they will back it up. They will back it up with top-notch customer service and support. Visit them online at truetonemusic.com, 310-393-8232. Give them a call. That's 310-393-8232. Say, may I speak to Ken? Oscar said call him. I am calling him. Give me a good deal because Oscar said so. I will. He will take care of you because he knows that he sponsors the show, so he's going to take care of you. Give him a call. That was cool, man. I love that lick in there. Is that a you got like a little univibe going on somewhere around there? Alvin? Hey, Alvin, you there?
Check 1, 2. Yeah, here we go.
Okay. What kind of effects are you using on that lead part on that song?
Oh, on the solo, man. Oh, on the intro?
Yeah.
On the intro, man, I'm probably using, I have my little travel pedal boards. I'm probably using that little Dan Electro chicken salad vibe pedal?
Oh, yeah. Oh, those are cool.
Probably using one of those.
It's like a Univibe clone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool.
It's the cheap one,
Last time I spoke to you, you said that you had created out of nothing. First there was nothing, and then you created this box called a blow drive. That was
Blood drive.
Blow drive.
Blood.
Blood.
Like young blood.
Like Youngblood, because it's the name. Blood. Okay, blood drive. What have you done anything with that since? Have you innovated on that at all?
No, there was. I started making that pedal, man, back around 2001 or two, maybe.
Right.
And made a bunch of them, and then they came out with some sort of shredder coffin-shaped pedal with the same name, But I mean, the people that knew, I made a few and sold a few, but just haven't had a lot of time to mess around with that. I've been thinking about getting back into the pedal thing as soon as time allows here.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
But yeah, I'm still fooling around with some of that stuff. I just haven't been. What do you call mass production when it's just one guy anyway?
I know. Yeah.
They call it boutique, right? I don't know.
Exactly. You did it in your basement. Yeah. That's what boutique means. I made it in my basement. Well, let's cut to the chase here. What let's say on a live gig, what's on your pedal board?
Man, well, some form of wow, what do artists call it? Wow.
Waka waka waka.
And I have it's usually a wow, man. My favorite one is one that was built for me by Scotty Smith at Pro Analog. He's made quite a few pedals for me. I have that, and then there's usually most often than not there's a DOD 250 overdrive that's just kind of set clean. I just use it for some juice on the solos,
Mm-hmm.
But I've been using that pedal, since I remember I bought my first one at Guitar Center, and can I say Guitar Center?
Yes, you can.
I bought my first one at Guitar Center in Hollywood with my high school graduation money in 1981 for $20, 1999 or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
And I've been using DOD 250 since I got out of high school,
Mm-hmm.
So that's usually there. I got a couple of pedal boards, but they're pretty much laid out the same. So there's the wah, there's the overdrive, there's usually this as far as effects go. There's some kind of tremolo. I got this. The thing for me has always been, coming up in the garage era where we had nothing, was to find the cheap stuff that works. So when those little plastic Dan Electro boxes came out, the tremolo is pretty good. The little yellow tremolo, I forgot what it's called. Some silly little name. And the vibe pedal through the chicken salad is really good. Others I don't care about too much.
Weren't you also using a Pro Mark II?
Yeah, Pro Analog is Scotty Smith, and Pro Analog Mark II, which is a recreation of the old Jimmy Page Solar Sound tone.
That name just keeps coming back on the show. Happy birthday, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Well, that's the sound. Last week, this guy was saying we had Alan Hines on. He was talking about someone was selling him a pedal, and it was like, you got to have this pedal. This is the Jimmy Page pedal. This is the career, it's called the Career Maker. You got to have this pedal. It's like, well, that's that sound though. That's that old school sound.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that. There's usually some kind of delay. What am I using for delay? I can't remember. On one board there's a Ibanez AD9, and on the other board there's an old Boss DM. What's it called? DM2, I think it is.
BM2.
D.
Oh,
as
D.
in Delta.
Oh, okay. D is in Delta. Okay.
Old DM2, and we got a reverb pedal. So nothing else really spectacular. Nothing that I couldn't lose on an airplane flight, and never see again. Except I can't hate to lose those DOD 250s, but I can make one if I need be. So.
Yeah, I have a similar story about that pedal. That's like one of the first. I think that was actually the second pedal I ever bought. But that's a very popular pedal, DOD 250. Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's like either you're a tube screamer guy or a 250 guy, but I think there's more tube screamer guys out there than 250.
Yeah.
I didn't know that the 250 was the Ingave pedal, man. But apparently it is. So we have that in common.
Yeah. Well, you both feel the rising force, so that means something.
Yeah, no doubt.
Now, let's talk about amps a little bit because I was reading all this stuff about you online because people talk about you behind your back,
Yeah,
and they're saying stuff like you're a Link Ray disciple.
Well,
and how does that translate to your amp choice?
Well, it didn't really, that so much. I mean, but I did say Link using some Marshalls, man.
Uh-huh.
But no, it's just kind of the gradual step to get that. That's the funny thing. Like when I was a kid, man, I didn't I didn't know how all this stuff worked, and my brother had like a subscription to Downbeat, or something. So I'm reading the ads in Downbeat, and I see the ad in there for the Electro Harmonics Big Muff or something like that, and it was like a total lie. Jimi Hendrix relied on the Big Muff, and so it's like, man, I gotta get one of those,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to say, I got one, man, when I was like 15, 16 or something. I thought it sounded fairly horrible, but
I know. Yeah, that was my first pedal.
I'm like, man, Hendrix didn't use this shit,
Hell no, we did not use that.
But so there was just that education. It just kind of working your way. And nowadays, kids maybe twist their parents' arm and they come home and bring them a Marshall, man, or something. I mean, I was lucky, I twisted my parents' arm, man, and I got a PV for Christmas, man. I got a PV TKO 80 for Christmas. I was playing bass back then a lot too, so because my oldest brother plays bass, so I always thought, well, maybe I'll inherit some gear off of him or something, which I never did. So I'm still waiting. So I got this TV, little TV. Now I still have that rig, man. And we use it actually. We use it like on radio broadcast. We do live radio broadcasts. Use it for bass on there and stuff. But but nowadays, stuff's easier to get. Maybe it's not as good as it was in the old days, but it's definitely easier to get a good sound these days. You can get one of them Fender Pro Juniors, which is one of my favorite amps. I own 3 of them, and unless you're playing big joint outside or something, that's all you need. You can get away with that pretty much. But as I went along, discovered I found certain certain models of Marshall amps were just set it and forget it, just like Ron Popeil.
Yep, exactly.
Whatever, man. Just plug it in and it's all there. And basically, it's like every guitar that I plug into it sounds like it's supposed to sound. If I plug the Dan Electro in there, it sounds the way it's just. I plug the Telly in there, it sounds like Telly. Mm-hmm. Plug the Les Paul in there, bam, it's there. So that's the thing I like, the most about it. I'm speaking of like, the earlier style Mar. Well, they didn't deviate too much from from the '60s all the way up to the end of the '80s. Not a whole lot. So,
Alvin, I'm sorry, man. I got to cut you off, man. I wish you deserve 2 hours, but I have to end the show. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of yours.
Thank you, man. And I hope to see you soon.
I come to LA. I would love to come check you out and see your show. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our show. And I'd like to thank our guest, Alvin Youngblood Hart. Set mind to purpose and visit him at mojomusic.com/Alvin and purchase every piece of music he has ever written. We'd also like to thank our sponsors, Performance Guitars, building custom guitars and basses for the biggest names of the music industry since 1976. Visit them at performanceguitars.com. Also, True Tone Music at truetonemusic.com. And last but not least, Mojave Ampworks. Visit the Oasis of Tone at mojaveampworks.com. Want to become a sponsor? Email me at oscarsguitarshop.com. oscarsguitarshop@gmail.com. Tune in next week when our guest will be the most prodigious guitarist on planet Earth, Michael Angelo Badio. Take care of yourselves. Be nice to each other. See you next week. Same bat time. Same bat channel.
Not a shame of my